Mr. Rane has retired and has moved out.
Vishwajit is also not there.
Vishwajit Rane is also not there, but he'll always be a claimant for chief ministership of any party in any
wherever he is.
Wherever he is. So that's there. So would you say that the leadership issue in the Congress, of course, I will not say it's totally there because there is one person knocking at the door even as we speak right now.
Yeah.
So that is also there. But would you say that the leadership issue is more or less kind of a little more comfortable, and that also has given the Congress the freedom to expand and get new people and do so?
I believe yes, to some extent, and to a great extent I would say, not some extent, the leadership issue is sorted out in the state. And the things are pretty clear, and it is easier for the party also. We are out of baggage, because I believe most of the people who had baggages and who were accused by the BJP were washed by the BJP and their special washing machine, and now they are in the BJP. So we are very comfortable, and that is the only washing machine in the country that perhaps doesn't clean. It gives you a different color altogether. What
about people from the BJP?
If I may add to this, the Congress leadership is not such like the BJP's. They are not as tough as it seems that the BJP is. So I don't think that the leadership issue is behind us today. We may right now have somebody who's a single person whom the Congress has not said that will be the CM candidate, but we also have squabbles already started before the polling that they want to be chief ministers, and this voice will raise and go more deeper after the votes are counted.
And the better the Congress does.
Yes.
No, I believe we have always had a setup wherein post polls the legislators decide who will be their leader. That is the scenario we have always.
Do you really think that happens?
No, absolutely. Okay. There is some, to some extent, the party high command plays a role, but largely the legislators decide who is going to be their leader, and I think that is how it has to be. If in a democracy we don't, within the party we don't work democratically, then I think there will be no difference between the BJP and the Congress, because the BJP today is become so arrogant with power, the arrogance of power that they have completely, they are blind, they cannot see what is going on around them. And we don't want to copy them. We are better in the fashion we are. Last time BJP, the arrogance of power has come that they have stolen public mandate. But this time I believe the people of Goa are going to vote so decisively that they are going to give a clear mandate to us, wherein BJP will be reduced to mere single digit, wherein they are not in a position to do any circus, to even attempt to dislodge any other government.
Okay, that is a Congress hope. It may be a maybe
that will be the fact reality on 10th of March.
But yes, one has to give you that the Congress is doing much better than what people gave it credit for. At least that fact needs to be admitted, and we'll be failing in our duty if we at least don't admit that. Harsh and Sunil, moving on to the last segment of our chat is on manifestos. The question that I have is, do manifestos matter anymore? To parties, it may matter to the people, because one sees that many manifestos of many parties, without taking any one particular party's name, is or used to be cut and paste jobs.
Absolutely.
Okay. If you compare the manifestos of 2012, 2017, and now many parties, on large chunks it will just cut. See, for instance, things like, unfortunately, things like farmers' issues, women's rights, law and order. On these issues, there are generics, there are general statements put out that we will do this, we will improve law and order, we will ensure women's safety, we'll give certain welfare schemes.
So Sujay, the thing is like this, what I'm most astounded is the fact that all the major political parties came out with their manifestos just 5 to 8 days back.
Absolutely correct.
It is completely unthinkable, because you are not allowing the voter time to reflect on their promises. And that is also because the same old promises hold. The same old promises get realized
unfulfilled.
Unfulfilled, as new promises.
Yes.
In 1994, I had seen a front page ad on a local paper about cleansing of the Santinez Creek. That is still an issue. It's almost 28 years after that.
Right. That's right.
And we had somebody in the city who could have done it. But that has not happened. This is just one promise I'm talking about.
Right.
There was a promise made in 2013 about the Investment Promotion Board, which would attract 25,000 crore of investment and create 50,000 jobs. We hear we hear the government say that now they're going to give 30,000 jobs, which is less than the 50,000 jobs, and that is 8 years hence.
Right.
You know,
right,
from
right.
2013 we have come to 2021,
Yes, yes.
and those jobs are going to be created by the private sector. What mandate does the government have on the private sector? Zero, zilch. You know, so these are just plain bland promises. The other aspect is even more concerning. The fact is that Goa is a completely hyper-local state. People don't care about what happens in the next
constituency.
This constituency has unique problems. The next constituency has unique problems. You can't look at Goa as a unified geographical area
Correct.
and create a manifesto for that.
You can't have a one solution.
You
for
have
all this.
not. You have not looked at hyper-local issues. You know, like you can say the marina issue in Santanari.
Correct.
Who is talking about that? Nobody is talking about that.
That's true.
You know, only when you go for a meeting over there, you speak about that issue. But you are not creating.
Even the Bondaval Lake, for instance.
You are not creating
yes.
a manifesto for the people. You are creating a manifesto for a party,
Right, right.
and it is not relevant today. You know, you have to have a very, very hyper-local, people-focused manifesto.
And for which, Sunil, don't you think parties should form a manifesto committee at least 2-3 years before election?
Because manifestos have to tackle people's problem on an ongoing basis.
Correct.
You can't say I have done this job because problems keep on mounting.
Correct.
Okay.
See, even on,
and worse are the problems of unfulfilled promises.
Correct.
You know.
No, even in issues of say CRZ and CRZ management, the Goa coastal plan, though it is a larger plan, but you have unique situations happening in different constituencies and people, even within the ambit of the Goa coastal zone plan.
Yeah.
So I think that needs to be looked at. So Sunil, one before you answer to most points that you mentioned, what is important here to understand is why can't parties plan for elections 2 to 3 years in advance? Why can't they have a manifesto committee, not necessarily from within the members? You can have an expert manifesto committee, seek the help of experts from the field to come in, and let this committee work for a good year and a half, look at all issues, crunch data, get details, and then come up with a vision document, have people, have public hearings. Why does everything have to be crunched into that, say, 45-day period?
I believe that although our manifesto, definitely yes, we have released our manifesto just 15 days, about 15 days, 20 days back.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact
That
date
speaks for itself.
Yeah, but I will like to inform you one thing, that the manifesto that we have formed for the state of Goa, the manifesto was done by a manifesto committee. And the manifesto committee was completely being personally monitored by the former finance minister of the country, Shri P. Chidambaram ji. The promises that we have made to the people of Goa, we have taken utter care that we cannot make a promise which we will be unable to fulfill. We have considered the economic prudence, the economic scenario of the state, the revenue generation, and we have also seen the projected revenue generation in the coming years. And only after thorough consultation with the stakeholders and proper public consultation, I will tell you, for example, as far as tourism sector is concerned, we have taken into consideration not only the hoteliers or the big restaurateurs, we have gone to an extent of taking consultation from small time taxi owners and the motorcycle pilots.
No, Sunil,
So that
I
is
agree.
a depth to what we have done
Fair
in
enough.
consultation.
Absolutely. Fair enough.
We have had some top economists on board. P. Chidambaram ji was personally monitoring before we formed our vision document for the state. I will give you a small, we have not promised 20 lakh rupees loan to the youth without any collateral. It is practically not possible. Who will give? Which bank will give without collateral? 20 lakh to 4.5 lakh youth will come to almost 1 lakh crores. Our state economy cannot promise that and sustain that.
Right.
But we have a Nyaya scheme which will give 6,000 per household to the poor families, which will take care of your maybe some LPG paying of electricity bills. Then we have 30% job reservation for women, which has been very well worked out. We have promised petrol to be 80 rupees, which again we have taken care, we have seen that we will be able to deliver on this promise. Otherwise we cannot, in 2024, we are going for Lok Sabha election, we will be questioned.
So all fair points. Just to allow me to interrupt a little bit.
Yeah.
See, all very fair points. We're not denying it. But what we're essentially saying, both me and Harsh, is that don't you agree? If you step back from your Congress role as such, and if you agree, don't you agree that this whole process if it is done a little earlier. It is not an accusation, but maybe
It's a suggestion.
It's a suggestion that parties, if they do this earlier, what happens is when you look at elections, it needs to be prepared for well. You cannot crunch
I
it.
agree with you completely,
Yeah.
but I believe our manifesto consultation process started more than a year ago.
Okay.
And I'm very pretty sure about it because I was also part of
that, okay.
giving the process and the giving suggestion. And as I have said, P. Chidambaram ji has taken personal interest and personal care in seeing that nothing goes wrong as far as the manifesto is concerned. He was very particular about it. Now coming to the implementation part of the manifesto, or maybe not implementation, maybe the declaration of the manifesto, yes, even though I am the office bearer of the Congress party, even I am of the opinion that the manifesto should have come out, I won't say 6 months back, because see, no political party will release their manifesto 6 months back. We cannot do it even 3 months back. It should have at least been done a month back, so that the people could
my
realize.
counterpoint is why not?
And,
I'm saying,
but yes, there. See, this is some strategies have to be there. Every political party will take that care that our manifesto should not be copied, or somebody. See, there are political parties we have seen in Goa are promising moon, sun, and heaven. Everything they are promising. Everything you whatever you ask, they are promising. So there are parties which are not giving 500 rupees in their own states, who are coming here and promising 5,000 rupees per woman or something. So we don't want that. Somebody we are saying 80 rupees petrol. We could have very well said we will do 30 rupees petrol, but we know we cannot give petrol for 30 rupees.
Okay, Harsh,
so that is the time gap. Okay. The best what we could do is that we released it at least for 15 days.
Okay, fair. I take your point. Harsh, please.
2 points over here. One is the fact that the manifesto should be out on the day the elections are declared. Essentially,
correct,
because then the people have chance to actually glean through your entire promises. There have been parties in Goa who have been giving promise after promise after promise, and that could also be part of their manifesto.
Yes.
So the big parties should match them,
right,
and counter them, and counter them with statistics, because you have enough time then to say that this is not possible.
Correct.
I think more than manifesto.
The second point is
time there should be criminal liability on the party to fulfill the manifesto.
Second point is that you can't have somebody who is the national leader look at Goa issues. The hyper-local flavor of Goa's politics get totally lost in this.
That's a
because
very
they
important
don't
point.
understand Goa.
Yes, correct. In the sense that if there are 40 constituencies, for instance, you can actually have different manifestos for all 40, if not all 30.
Yes, that is what the local candidates always have their constituency specific manifestos. But the national leaders who are monitoring this process only guide and help us as far as looking at the larger economic picture and seeing whether the manifesto is practically possible, and whether it will be deliverable.
Also, I think I'd like to make one more point and get a quick reaction before we cut to the field and our reporters are all over. See, also what happens is when you're making a promise in your manifesto, I think we should take a leaf out of any good company's functioning, because every good company, when it kind of
vision statement, mission statement,
you have a mission statement, you have a deadline, you have a proper timeline, and then you also give an indication as to who is doing it. So there's an ending date and a closing date. So if you can have an ending date and closing date for a PWD project, of course the closing date is always violated, but in a proper company structure, there is a mission statement, there is a timeline and how to do it. Let all that be kind of professionally kind of put before the people, don't you think?
Of course, I do think that. Because the thing is that bringing in a business angle, bringing in a professional angle is always looked down upon.
Right.
We have to take the best practices of business,
of corporate.
Yeah. To bring in a change in polity. Because Goa, if we say Goa is a first world state, if you can say that,
correct.
Goa should demand the best practices in terms of promises from the government, and see that these promises are actually worked upon.
Okay, now I think what we'll do now is if we can get to the field after this, get to our reporters, figure out what they are doing, and here we are, and then we'll come back for a short discussion after this.
फर्स्ट टाइम तुम्ही बीजेपी सोडून इंडिपेंडन्साचे आयज वोटिंग करता, एकंदरीत कितें दिसता?
आयचो दीस हो तसो खूब महत्वाचो आसता आनी आसाय. खऱ्या अर्थान वोटर जो राजा आसता, मतदार राजा म्हणटात, नांवापुरते म्हटले वता, पूण खऱ्या अर्थान तो 5 वर्सांसून एक दीस मतदार राजा आसता. आज तो मतदार राजा आसा. हांवूय मतदार ह्याच भुमिकेतसून हांवें मतदान केला. 5 वर्षांतलो एक दीस तो राजा आणि निवडून दिल्लो लोकप्रतिनिधी 4 वर्सां 11 म्हयने आणि 29 दीस तो राजा. आणि त्यामुळे मतदार राजान 5 वर्सांसून एक फावट मेळणारी संधी ही पुरो विचार करून ती वापरूंक जाय. इलेक्शनाच्या काळात धमक्यो असतात, पैशांचो महापूर असता, आश्वासनां असतात, ही सगळी आयकपाची. ती आयकून जातकीर आज आपले फुडल्या 5 वर्सां खातीरचे भवितव्य घडयणारे, आपलेच न्हय खास करून राज्याचे भवितव्य घडयणारे, आज मतदान करणारे नव मतदार असतात, इवन काही फाटले सुद्धा असतात, हे गोंयच्या मुक्तीनंतर जन्माल्ले मंडळी. ही बहुतेक मतदार हे आता मुक्तीनंतर जन्माल्ले असतात आणि ताका लागून आणि सुशिक्षितय ह्याची मतदानाची मोठी फळी आसा. म्हाका खात्री आसा की ह्या फावटीचो मतदार केवळ मांद्रे ह्या फावटीचो मतदार केवळ मांद्रे मतदारसंघा पुरतोच उलयना हांव. खूब गोंयभरांत चर्निंग जाला, डावपेच, धमक्यो ह्यो सगळ्यो जाल्यो, पूण ह्या फावटीचो मतदार, ह्या फावटीच्या इलेक्शनाक मतदार हो ह्या सगळ्या प्रक्रियेतसून वचून एक आदर्श गोंयचें भवितव्य ठरयणारी टीम अशी खंयच्याय पक्षांतली जावनी मनांतल्या मतदारांक म्हजी एक मनांतसून, काळजांतसून, हृदयांतसून शुभेच्छा.
सर तरी मताधिक्य कितले घेतले तुम्ही?
हांव एक आज सांजेवेळ पर्यंत सांगूंक शकतलो, पूण जबरदस्त म्हाका दिसता पाठबळ म्हाका मतदानाचें मेळटा.
मनी पॉवर तशें मोठ्या प्रमाणात
मनी पॉवर, तुडुंब, तुफान, पैशांचो पावस व्हांवता, मागीर आश्वासनाची खैरात आसा आणि धमक्याचें सत्र चालूच आसा.
हे
इतलें सगळें आसून मतदार ज्या पद्दतीन उत्साहान भायर सरता तेन्ना निश्चितपणे मांद्रेंत इतिहास हे फावटी घडटा.
अपक्ष विरुद्ध भाजप अशें मतदान जातलें अशें तुमकां दिसता?
हय 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 निश्चित. खूब म्हणजे हांगा हांव अपक्ष आसा, हांगा भाजपच्याय काही नेते मंडळीन मोठ्या प्रमाणार हांगा येवन खरें म्हणजे एकदां आमच्या फाटलें न्ही जालें न्ही, तुजो संवसार वेगळो म्हजो संवसार वेगळो, ही गोश्ट जाल्या नंतर हांगा खूब मोठे मोठे नेते रातचे अपरात्री ह्या वाड्यार त्या वाड्यार ह्या समाजाक त्या समाजाक जें करपाचें काम केलें तातूंत ताणें आपली पद घालयली ती घालयलीच, पूण गोंयभरांत पक्षाचें स्थान देंवयलें तांच्यांनी. म्हणजे मांद्रे मतदारसंघांतलो एक सीट भाजपचो वता हें आसाच, पूण ताच्याय पलीकडे ताच्या आपल्या कृत्यांतसून तांणी आपल्या वक्तव्यातसून ताणें गोंयभरांत किमान 2-3% तरी मतां पक्षाची कमी केली आनी म्हाका सिंपती दिली. एक हांव घरोघर भोंवता आसतना म्हाका आश्चर्य दिसा, सर आमकां खबर आसा तुजी निशाणी कपाट ही, आपल्याक पुण्यासून अमक्याचो फोन आयिल्लो, आपल्याक मडगांवच्यान अमक्याचो फोन आयिल्लो, आमचे कडेन अमके सोयरे म्हापशेच्यान आयिल्ले. म्हणजे मतदारसंघा पलीकडले लोक गोंयभरांतले, राज्यभरांतले, इवन देशभरांतले आनी काही कडेन तर इन्स्टन्सीस आपल्याक युएसासून फोन आयिल्लो, युकेसून फोन आयिल्लो, अशें सांगणारी मंडळी, म्हजो प्रचार करणारी जगभरांत आसली. हांव नकळो, हांव कोणाक कॉन्टॅक्ट करूंक पावूंक ना, पूण एक जी सिंपती म्हाका मेळटा आनी सिंपती मेळटाच आनी त्याच बरोबर गोंयचें भवितव्य, गोंयचें हित हें सादारणपणे खंयच्या मनशाच्या हातान आसा हें सादारण लक्षांत आयलें.
गोंयच्या मान्य वोटरांचें हांव अभिनंदन करतां. ताणें सकाळ फुडें जे रिपोर्ट्स आहा ते रिपोर्ट्सान सकाळ फुडें भायर सरून खुबशें वोटींग जालां. वोटींग करप हें आमचें सगळें कर्तव्य आसा आनी गोंयांत सदांच वोटिंगाची पर्संटेज ही बरी जाता. त्यामुळे सगळ्यांक परत एकदां विनंती आसा की कोणेच आपलें मत घरात न बसता येवन आपलें बहुमोल मत दिवचें अशी सगळ्यां कडेन विनंती करता. गेली कित्येक दीस प्रचाराची धुमाळी रणधुमाळी चलताली. भारतीय जनता पार्टीन ह्या वेळा जवळ जवळ 40 मतदारसंघात उमेदवार उबे केले आणि जो प्रतिसाद लोकांचो मेळ्ळो तो खूब बरो आशिल्लो. पणजे मतदारसंघ हो भारतीय जनता पार्टी कितले वेळ जिखिल्लो आसा. ह्याय वेळा भारतीय जनता पार्टी निश्चितपणे जिखतली हाची म्हजी बाब दुबाव ना. वेगळ्या मतदारसंघांनी गोंयच्या नागरिकांनी गोंयच्या वोटरांनी बरो प्रतिसाद भारतीय जनता पार्टीक दिला आणि हांव तांकां सगळ्यांक मना पासून धन्यवाद दिता. फक्त आज वचून आपलें मत दिवप इतलेंच काम तेणें जें आसा तें करूंक जाय. ह्या तांच्या सगळ्याच्या आदाराचेर भारतीय जनता पार्टी परत एकदां मेजॉरिटी हांगा घेवन निवडून घेतली अशें म्हणपाक दुबाव दिसना. परत एकदां हांव सगळ्याचे मतदारांचे मना पासून अभिनंदन करता, तांचे आभार मानता. जाणी कित्येक वर्सां ह्या भारतीय जनता पार्टीचे फाटल्यान उबे आसा. तांचो आशिर्वाद संपूर्ण गोंयच्या मतदारांचो आशिर्वाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी.
फाइव या साइड सर 5 या साइड थैंक यू.
Except you are not there,
Serial number 754, Vishwas Dhamoskar.
असे डिस्टन्स दवरा तुम्ही सगळ्यांना. डिस्टन्स दवरा. फाटल्यान चला.
Much next. Let him come.
ओके ओके. लाइट आपकी देखो
Serial number 455, Tony Alfredo Rodriguez. 55.
Mini violence in the Naveli constituency. We are still getting some details. Apparently, there's been a lathi charge, but we'll update you as and when we get it. They are just two quick inputs. We'll get it. Actually, the lathi charge happened at 9 o'clock in the morning, and our back-end team is going to brief us a little bit. And as soon as I get more information, I'll come to you with it. Harsh and Sunil, welcome back. Let's kind of do this closing session by looking at another topic. We all talk about people with criminal backgrounds. We talk about candidates with family raj and people from families coming into politics, and so on and so forth. The basic question to be asked is that why are good people not coming into politics?
See, at the outset, I feel so. Politics is a lot of hard work. Politics takes a lot of time. Politics needs you to be on your toes 24/7. Whether somebody is dead, somebody is being born, somebody is getting married, somebody is having a trouble, somebody is fighting over their compound walls. Politicians, I mean, Goa's electorate expects you to be there for you at every given point of time. Good people, unfortunately or fortunately, are busy doing their businesses, running their professions, and talking in studios. But politicians are there on the ground. Politicians respond to their constituents, and it's not a cheap affair. It's a very expensive affair. So I guess a lot of money, muscle plays role in dousing all these fires on a continuous basis. And the good people go home at 6:30, watch their TV, or come to the channel studio and chat with you.
Sunil, you've been attempting for a long time to have cleaner faces and fresh faces, but you still realize that you couldn't do this without probably having an old familiar face. Let's take his name. Digambar Kamath is obviously your alpha male politician who's there to lead. Then you have, of course, tried and tested, dyed in the wool hardcore politician like Michael Lobo. You've done a tie-up with Vijay Sardesai of Goa Forward as well. So while an attempt has been made to get more people, but some of the basics still remain the same. And as Harsh said, money plays a part, and funding plays a part, and all that. So my point is, why aren't parties able to attract grassroots talent and make them grow within a party and do? You are probably one of the examples who's kind of rising within the party. But people from schools and colleges, why don't people take politics as a mission? It is certainly a profession for many, but why can't more people take it as a mission?
I would actually completely would like to agree to what Harsh has said and rest my case, but as I represent the party, I think I will have to say a little bit more. As a Congress party, we have tried very hard this time to give a lot of clean new faces, because that has been the requirement, the demand from the people of Goa.
Right.
And we have tried our level best, but yes, there has to be a balance, there has to be a mix of experienced war horses and the grassroots connect people, and also the new faces, fresh faces, the people who have done a lot of social work, although they may have not been very politically aggressive, but they have been connected with the people at different levels. But when the question comes as to why the clean, good people are not coming, I think so this question will be better answered by the electorate of the state, the voters of the state,
right,
whether they are ready to accept
right,
fresh, good, clean faces. And I think so this is the election when the voters have to decide,
right,
that all the time voters had that thing that Congress party should give clean faces, new faces. This time we have done it. Now it is up to the voters to stand by the new faces, clean faces. The people, good people, you cannot weigh them with money and say that a good politician is a person who has a lot of money and muscle power to him. But we have given you, we have done our part. Now it's up to the people of Goa to support them, select them, and to decide on your own future.
Before we let you go, a quick discussion on or defections, because it's the D word which is hovering around these elections like an elephant in the room, which is really visible. Of course, you all have been victims of the D word, as you said. See, the thing is, you can have any discussion about the Congress. You sit in any tinto or a tavern or in a market or wherever you do, or in a drawing room and a balcony. This whole feeling that, look, the BJP does not, for BJP the magic number is not 21. The BJP, the magic number is being the single largest party. Or even if it is not a single largest party, it can do wonders as far as itself is concerned. Every other party is vulnerable to succumbing the BJP. And Congress, because of what happened in 2017, Congress of course has been talked of as the party most vulnerable to getting completely decimated post-elections if the BJP really starts upping the ante as far as the poaching game is concerned. And we understand that you all have taken your leaders or your candidates to temples and churches to take different kinds of pledges. But what happens, and I asked this question even to P. Chidambaram in a recent interview, and he smiled. He understood the pragmatism of that question, and I'm going to pose that same question to you again. See, what happens is that it's not about whether you make that pledge in a temple or a church. I mean, we respect that act. But what happens is, if one day you're sitting and a senior BJP leader comes and gives you a sneak peek into the file that they have started making about you and your deeds and your tax evasions, either genuine or contrived, okay, or they put different kinds of subtle pressures, and then what happens is, in politics everybody would have skeletons in the cupboard. Some would have a couple of bones, some would have the whole body, but there'll be skeletons in the cupboard. Okay, now in the face of that, your pledges that you make before the Lord, okay, or the affidavits that you sign, pale into insignificance compared to the reality that strikes you in the face, because your reality is that, look, if you don't play ball, then you are in deep trouble. Okay, the bars are in front of you, and you need to we need to go even behind that. In that, and let's be honest, there are several politicians, including politicians in the Congress, who would be in that kind of a situation. So the whole thing is that unless Congress gets that, permit me for using this word, goddamn 21 seats or 22 seats, anything is possible.
I believe this time, I have again repeating myself, we have taken sufficient measures to see to it that we build confidence amongst the people of Goa. We have taken measures to see to it that any kind of pressure won't allow our candidates to defect in any eventuality. We have also measures in place as we speak right now, which is taking care of entire logistical thing, wherein we will see to it that BJP won't even be in a position to try to even attempt to defect our candidates. Now, as far as the issue of defection is concerned, I believe by now all the politicians who have defected, especially the 10 defectors, have realized that it was a mistake on their part. Many of them are getting defeated in this election. They were desperately trying to come back to Congress. We have stood very firmly on our commitment to the people of Goa that defectors will not be allowed, even if we are not able to form the government. And I believe that is the step that he's brought us where we are today. The strong confidence
the unfortunate or the difficult part of elections, especially in a small place like Goa, is that it's difficult for an elected legislator to stay without power for 5 years. It's a very costly, expensive affair for him, and in most likelihood he or she will not withstand the forces of the electorate for the next election. So everybody, see, till the day of the polls, everybody needs a party machinery, central leadership, this, that. But once you are voted to power, it is a game played by those 40 guys.
Correct. It goes out of the hands of parties.
It is out of the party equation at all. Secondly, about this thing about going before a temple or a church or a mosque and pledging yourself, we really don't know what the incumbent legislator or the candidate is actually conversing with the Almighty.
Right.
So that is, and so far as the strategy of defection is concerned, it looked to me that last time the fastest finger first at the Raj Bhavan sealed the deal.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah?
Correct. The road to Raj Bhavan is short, but it needs to be traversed quickly as well.
Really?
Yes.
So we are taking all the measures to avoid the situation that occurred last in 2017. We will be forming the government very soon after the last vote is counted.
Okay, Sunil. Of course, there's a bit of
And
time.
there will be
there's
a
bit
very
of time to go
comfortable
for that.
majority, and
Yes.
moreover, people of Goa, not Congress party, people of Goa will not allow BJP to cross single digit, so that they are not even in a position to attempt any defections.
Yeah. Okay. So before we end, a quick note. Sunil, I wish you all the best, as I would every other party. But there's a bit of time to go.
you.
Firstly,
Yeah.
you need to get more people out to actually vote, and then get the percentages up. I think our back-end team tells us that the overall voting percentage has come up to 44.6, which is good. And yeah, just 1 second. I'll quickly pull the data up. Okay, so yeah, so the overall polling percentage is about 44.6. It's gone up quite a bit. It started with 11%, 26%, and now it's at 44%. I think Priol is one of the high ones with 51%. We got Perne, Bicholi, they're all in that 46 range. Sangay is quite high with about 53. Yeah, I see that. And yes, Sangay is there. Kepe is not bad with 50%. I think plus 50s are also, Priol is plus 50, and Kepe is plus 50, Sangay is plus 50. So these are, interestingly, these are all mining belts.
Yes.
If you see, if my quick reaction to this is that polling is quite heavy in the mining belts. That actually says a thing or two, because that of course could reflects the angst that the people have in coming out in large numbers. I've seen this right from the beginning, morning, that the mining belts are really polling heavily. There's a lot to speak, but on that note, I think we'll take a we'll take a longish break. Of course, visuals will be coming in. Our bites, our field visuals, our reporters are all on the ground to give you up-to-date information of whatever is going on. And at the same time, do log on to our social media channels, our YouTube, our Facebook and Twitter. All of them are extremely active and updated. There's a team furiously working behind the scenes to put all that out. And this discussion will also be crunched and available on Facebook and YouTube shortly. I thank all my guests as well as our back-end team for good steady work as we go into the lunch break, and we'll see you at the other end. Thank you so much. If you don't mind.
Voter with me. I want to know, how do you feel after you just came out, you cast your vote? How do you feel?
It was very energetic to vote over there. When I went in, it was like seeing something first time which I never saw. It was very amazing to vote.
Okay. How was the experience, or everything was systematic, like there was no queue kind of? Can you describe your process of voting?
Yeah, it was very systematically and very smoothly and well organized by them.
Alright. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Name. What's your name?
I'm Natasha Fernandez.